Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Discover a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
Being a marketer's no sweat. You just have to manage dozens of channels, launch hundreds of campaigns, score thousands of leads, and okay, fine, it's a lot of sweat. Unless you have HubSpot's AI-powered marketing tools to help you do all that and more. Get started at HubSpot.com/marketers.
With something like 5 million podcasts, finding a really good one can take a ton of time. So let me recommend one. It's called Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and in each episode, we discuss topics that can be really helpful, like how to read people better, the psychology of crowds, or fun things like the story of Legos, or why you probably wouldn't be here if it weren't for horses. Something You Should Know is the name of it, wherever you get your podcasts.
Sampling Dora the Explorer?
No, I was trying to do the thing from Kim Possible.
Do-do-do-do.
I think
What's
I've seen
the
it
sitch?
once.
Is it... What's the sitch?
Yeah.
Like the situation.
I've seen it once, so.
The TV show.
Mhm.
Well, no one can see you right now.
You're right.
Um,
But if you watched, I don't know why you listen to the results without watching.
I don't know.
The show.
Maybe it auto-played on your...
Maybe.
You're in your car.
They're like, I only like
Sorry.
Don't Blame Me, so I'm just skipping through these. That's fine.
And then it auto-played in your car, and you're like, well, I can't text and drive, and I can't even use my phone and drive. And so then you're here, and you're like, what the fuck am I doing here? And to that I say, welcome, 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 welcome to Illyria.
Festive Friday.
Hey, if the Pentatonics are looking for a new beatboxer, I think you've just secured your position.
Thanks.
I really wish I videotaped your face on that. Like, you just went straight into it. Like, you're like, I know what to do, and this is what I'm doing. I'm impressed. I'm very impressed. Welcome to Fisting Friday, where we receive. Okay, I have slept for not a lot of time.
I mean, we could, if it's fisting, you could be a receiver. The fisting.
I would, if I'm fisting, I don't want either. Anyways,
you know what? Always when we're talking about Fisting Fridays, I always think about the butthole, but you can get it in your cat too.
there's nothing sexy about that. Because
to you.
No, to me. Yeah. Well, this is all about me, obviously. There's nothing sexy to me about that because, like, when you talk, like, automatically, I'm going to go to how many centimeters dilated is that? And that's, like, what I think of like, childbirth. Not a sexy time.
To some people, it is. I told you about that one Real Housewife that while she was giving birth,
disgusting,
her husband jizzed on her back.
There are some things that need to be kept to your...
Well,
as someone with multiple podcasts who talks about herself constantly, some things we don't consent to hearing.
She wrote it in a book.
Some things I don't consent to reading or hearing because you heard someone else talk about it from a book that I presume you didn't read and then you told me.
No, she talked about it on the show.
There you go.
Because the other women were discussed it.
It was a home birth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's
I think
marginally. If
I think it might have been.
Hospital,
I think it was like a one that's in a little bathtub,
like a pool.
Mm-hmm. That's what I meant. little baby pool, kiddie pool. So then all the kids, you had the full grown kids, and then the ones that ejaculated, and the little spermies came out in
and
the
then
kiddie
you had
pool.
the kids that wouldn't amount to anything, just laying on your back.
Mm-hmm.
That's disgusting. Like I'm glad it was at home though.
I think
It better have been at fucking home because that hospital should sue. If it was if it was at a hospital, sue. Oh my god, disgusting. Anyways, on Fisting Fridays, we fist ya, you fist us back, and we give you the results of the last week's episode, the voting for who was wrong in all the situations, and then we usually just talk some shit in between.
I think my cup is in a weird angle. I'll be back.
Okay. Drink up. Scissor. Tangled.
Hey, Rapunzel.
Down your fucking pubes.
Oh, you said it was tangled.
Oh, I forget that that's her. We talked about that before.
Yeah, we were talking about Tangled, and we were like, "What's her name?"
Yeah, I was giving us more credit than my memory was. How's your cup?
The first day, there's just not enough juices in there.
You can't. It's like trying to create a dry suction.
Yeah.
How the fuck's that gonna happen?
Yeah, so like day after first day, you can just pop it in there and it's fine.
Set it
And
it's a crock pot.
And so I did. I was thinking more of a second day instead of a first day, and didn't do the full squat down.
Hold up, I think I just came up with our next marketing strategy. That was the word strategy. If you didn't catch that, because I didn't say it well.
I thought that's what you said.
There needs to be a collab with Crock-Pot and menstrual cups. Set it and forget it.
But set it, forget it was like that rotisserie thing.
Oh.
Remember that rotisserie chicken thing? You just set it and forget it. It was an infomercial.
Oh. I just thought that was like the slag line.
Yeah.
Oh, what is it for?
That rotisserie chicken thing.
I have no idea what that is. That was like my own personal Mandela effect where I heard set it and forget it and thought it was the Crock-Pot line. Okay, well, Crock-Pot needs to buy that.
It's still around. The wrong coats.
That's just a rotisserie.
Yeah, but
also, you can't set it and forget it.
That's the whole thing with that thing. Oh, they've upgraded. Oh, of course, because that commercial was from the 90s. But look, no. My oven actually has a rotisserie thing.
My grill does, and I've never used it.
I don't. It scares me a little bit.
Yeah, that's why I have mods. I didn't have a grill before I got a boyfriend.
But yeah, my oven has like rotisserie thingies, so you can stick in there.
Spigots.
Mm-hmm.
I love rotisserie chicken.
I know. So that's probably why you knew set it and forget it.
No, but I have no idea. I've never seen that thing in my life. So what's Crock-Pot's slogan?
I mean,
because that makes more sense as a Crock-Pot. You leave it on.
Well, that's what you did with that. That was the whole thing about that rotisserie chicken thing, is that you literally set it and forget it, and you could walk around.
How long is it spinning?
For a while, however long it takes to cook a rotisserie chicken.
But you don't have like, it doesn't like smell like. There's something nice about like if I'm putting it in a pot. Like, wow, this is really cute. Crock-Pots at Target. Shut the fuck up. These are. I don't need one. I have a pressure cooker, but like.
That's very cute.
It's like a little mint, everyone. Like, and the font looks cute. Mint and cream. They're chic.
How much is it? It matches your iPad.
44. It does. That one's $44.
That's all they cost?
And there's a small one that's $19.99.
I want to make some oxtails. Have you ever had oxtails before?
Will you also make birria tacos?
Mm-hmm. I want to make
Dude,
some. I'm gonna
Melissa's
try
in
out
her fucking cooking.
I'm trying to figure out like all the gluten-free, dairy-free stuff. So
You're
trying
doing
to figure.
All the work, so
yeah. So I'm figuring out how to make a good gravy for oxtails.
Tapioca starch.
I know, but I don't.
You just it's really just a matter.
It's not like it doesn't taste like Southern.
No, you would have to do like so like you could toy around with like a very, very small bit of like a gluten-free Worcestershire sauce that can add like you need an umami kind of flavor there.
Yeah,
and it's the best advice I can give for like gluten-free, dairy-free stuff is like if you think it'll be weird and you're like, oh well, no, that won't work. Like the flavor profiles, because there is something like lacking, you can be a little bit weirder to kind of get to that same result.
I think that fake soy sauce that I have would be good.
Yeah.
For the umami, because it's more umami than soy flavored. So I think that'll be good. I've watched a lot of videos on Sunday when all my plans got canceled. on Sunday.
You also maybe you'll do like a liquid, like a very small amount of liquid smoke in something, but you would it would have to be balanced out with other stuff. But if you're trying to get
liquid smoke, just reminds me of Burger King.
Couldn't tell you. I don't think I've ever eaten there.
Well, as somebody, because they say all their stuff is like flame broiled.
Oh no, it's just liquid smoke.
Yeah, I mean they do put it like run it through a quick flame, but not enough to cook it.
Just to char it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Okay. Well, I'm gonna get me a crock pot so I can get some. And I found.
Do you have a pressure cooker?
No, I found some bison oxtail, and it's about to be on.
Dude, the weather dips below 70 degrees, and Melissa's just out here made macaroni. I made all that. I honestly though I felt the same. Like I'm fucking ready.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm ready. I made short ribs like when we first moved in. It was like nice and chilly, but now I'm like, oh, I want to make it again. Yeah, we had some cold days in May.
I don't remember. They all run together.
Well, everything feels cold when it was 119 degrees.
True.
Okay, crockpot slogan. Cooks all day while the cook's away. Too many words. I need you to trade.
Forget it.
Do-si-do, trade that shit. You didn't tell me what you thought about the video I posted to promote.
Oh, I didn't look at it. Oh, that one. I enjoyed it.
Do you like my caption?
Mm-hmm.
Someone else laughed. Anyone's curious, it's white chicks in the club, and it's when I say I need a club night, this is what I mean. And the caption is, Melissa will be choreographing. Meghan will be doing her best. And then Kyle's comment.
Yes.
Kyle and I, we say that to each other all the time. A salad? Perhaps a salad for the lady? Perhaps not. Okay, we're going to read the results from episode 46. I am first up. Me versus people who draw the line, in quotations, at bullying. 1% said I was wrong. 99% said I was not wrong. And checks out.
Great job.
Thank you.
And then Melissa, free thinkers are MAGAs and Yeezys. Who was wrong? 1% said I was wrong. 99% said that I was not wrong.
Then we have a writer number 1 versus boyfriend who's passionate about 3D printing, which is so kind for you to phrase it that way. And
that's what the writer said.
Yeah, no.
Oh, okay. I thought
I would have inflicted my own judgment into the wording. Sometimes I do find you're not harsh enough, and then I will tweak a little bit. But usually,
I usually just take it straight from the call.
I know.
I mean, right in.
And usually I don't, as we've been corrected, or I just entered it wrong.
Child again.
Gavin. Gavin is friends with the I Smell Like Beef girl.
I don't know who these people are. I don't know who these people are. I smell like beef.
What about it's fucking bats or something like that? Fucking bats?
Nope.
Okay, well, she's a meme, and I saw her on TikTok, and I was like, this kid is, like, she was being funny or something. And then the mom did, like, or someone was like, I can't believe this is I Smell Like Beef girl. And she's just been, like, cranking out viral clip after viral clip. And the Smell Like Beef clip, it's a Vine. So fucking funny. The mom they got, like, back from a party or something. And she's like filming her daughter, like her daughter's looking at the sunset and just like for over an hour has kept looking at the sunset going, I smell like beef. I smell like beef. I smell like beef. And it's so fun. She was like, she's so weird. Like, I don't know. And like the kid is so weird, but she's like a preteen now. And she's like really funny and like really quick. And she goes, yeah, she's just like always been like hella weird. And it's cute. I love it. Anyways, that's Gavin. I didn't even read the results. No. 5% said the writer is wrong. 95% said the boyfriend is wrong. Did you see that someone wrote in?
Totally agree with Eminem that you're not wrong, but want to add that you may need to look into ventilation for your partner's printers, and he definitely needs to move them out of your bedroom. My boyfriend 3D prints as his side hustle and used to have the printer beside his desk. He didn't know that a lot of equipment, fumes, etc. can be harmful until he came up with an allergic reaction on his skin, as well as issues with his eyes, nose, and throat, ENT. This presented like normal allergies, but after cutting out everything else, we realized it was the printer. With some research, we discovered that you need to have your printers in a separate area, ventilated or both. Ours is now in a wardrobe in a room we don't use often, and we bought a small ventilation unit, which runs when it's on. Don't freak out. It's not hugely harmful, but you definitely need to get something sorted if this is a long-term hobby of his. If it's running for 12 plus hours and it's in a room that you're using, then you should at a minimum have a fresh air circulating or have ventilation units. It is definitely not recommended to have it running in a bedroom, especially without ventilation. And then someone else wrote, I asked my boyfriend who has a 3D printer about this, and he did say that 3D printers decrease the quality of air within the room they are in, so it's definitely a good point to bring up to your boyfriend saying that, hey, maybe these shouldn't be in the place we sleep.
Fucking wonderful advice.
Yeah, get it out.
Holy shit.
And that solves a lot of problems for you too.
It's like you don't even become the villain. It's like, well, do we want to die? Someone else also brought up not only like a lot of electricity, but like running again, like you could potentially not just pour ventilation, like, you could start like a small you could start an electrical fire. Mm-hmm. Like not just one, like the machines might be fine, but you might start a fire within your walls, which is fucking terrifying.
All right, then we've got writer number 2 versus doctor that won't treat her for ADHD. Who is wrong? 45% said the writer is wrong. 55% said the doctor is wrong.
Yeah, most people said they agreed with, like, it's a hard place to be in, but doctors can always have more, you can never have too much good bedside manner, Then we have writer number 3 versus not buying a friend a wedding present because you aren't invited to the wedding. 3% said the writer is wrong, which I have to assume all 10 of you, that was an accident. And then 97% said the writer is not wrong. I click on the writer is wrong and I just like see all the profile pictures in wedding dresses. Imagine.
They're also, I didn't think of this at the time. They're a co-worker and they probably just gave you an invitation as a courtesy anyway.
No, that's like without a doubt what I like think. Mm-hmm. And no one, by the way, that writer, everybody wrote in and was like, writer's not wrong, but also like, don't fucking go to the wedding.
Yep, that's true.
I mean, don't go to the engagement party.
Mm-hmm. What if you just showed up at the wedding?
Hi!
Writer number 4 and James versus Sarah, who makes ableist statements against her ex. Who is wrong? 3% said the writer and James are wrong. 97% said that Sarah is wrong.
Then we have wrong of the week, Brad Pitt. 99% said Brad Pitt is wrong and 1% said Brad Pitt is not wrong. But I would just like to know how hard it was to find a photo of him that is not like so gorgeous and absolutely glamorous. It's just so easy to find unflattering photos of women online really, really quickly, especially women who make claims of abuse. And it's very hard to find any somewhat unflattering photos of men. So, just food for thought.
All right, then we've got my wrong of the week, Nuri Martinez. 97% said that Martinez is wrong. 3% said she's not wrong. I only saw one person write in and said they made a mistake.
And here's the thing. If you made a mistake, message us because we'll remember. And then sometimes people will vote wrong and they will message in and be like, oh, my bad. And then I see someone who's voted wrong, like I don't want to say wrong, but like voted in a way that's like, I mean, that isn't
wrong. In support of our community.
Yeah, exactly. And not just like differing of opinions. It's for like the bigoted ones. And then I'll see that they voted wrong on that one. And then I'm like, oh yeah, we build up a repertoire so we can understand and see that. But if you continually to vote wrong and you're just like bad at voting, at a certain point, you like we might just like block you or like we might just like, because we don't want to make sure that, safe place, because we monitor all our communities heavily with a heavy hand.
We do.
So that was the result, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that all it was?
That's all it is.
Out of like left field in the like I'm pretty good at, well, maybe I'm not actually that good at reading situations, but I'm like pretty good at like having a conversation like through DMs. Like I like to talk with people, and especially if like, so I posted Matt Bernstein, great follow on Instagram, everybody, posted, he did a post about Kanye and said Kanye West claims that Adidas, company that produces his Yeezy sneaker line, won't drop him regardless of his anti-Semitic statements. The Adidas Yeezy collaboration generates about $2 billion in sales every year. And Matt is Jewish. and does a lot of he does a lot of activism for everything, but I always like to look at his stuff that he's posting when anti-Semitism is very, very publicly happening. And so this person responds and said, he's not wrong though, ... And I said, he's not wrong about what? The fact that Adidas won't drop him because of money. And I said, ooh, I would definitely not phrase it like that again, because it definitely sounded like you were saying he's not wrong about being anti-Semitic, LOL. Here I was thinking that I responded to that, and based on the previous responses, it's not like I can tell this person's been very hostile or argumentative in other political or social causes that I've talked about. And so that to me was I don't know. I enjoy if I say something you do that to me all when I say something, you're don't say it like that. And it's never I don't think you're trying to say it like that. It's just my mouth works faster than my brain. So I always really appreciate that. And so I just thought that was going to end there. And they said, I think that's the problem with Kanye. He talks out of his ass. He can mean one thing, which is relative, and really just pointing out that Adidas is money hungry. The world is so hung up on Jewish hate, which yes, it's wrong. But everyone's missing what he's trying to communicate. Not that Jews suck, ... But that Adidas is so money hungry that he can say such evil shit and they would still be sucking his dick. The whole world is blind. And I said, well, he is anti-Semitic and Adidas is valuing their bottom dollar. The world is not hung up on anti-Semitism. It's at an all-time high and Jewish people are constantly being harassed and killed for being Jewish. Kanye is an anti-Semitic piece of shit. And if Adidas does not pull the contract, then they are too. This response, again, even with that response, I'm maybe I'm misunderstanding what you're saying, but both things can be true at the same time. I think you're agreeing that Kanye is anti-Semitic and that Adidas is valuing money over the safety, protection, and peace of mind for the Jewish community. She says, wah, wah. Not trying to argue with you, smiley face. But I will say this because you are no longer relatable, ... out of touch with the average Joe. Lately, you have a quote-unquote always right persona since you've become quote-unquote famous. Well, enjoy your glamorous solitude. I truly wish you the best, but I'm going to unfollow you now, waving emoji. Because wow, I am tired of hearing you complain about your first world problems, then jumping on whatever is politically popular to bash. I'm not even reading all the ... but pretty much between every line, there's a ... Then jumping on whatever is politically popular to bash. Damn, what happened to having a real personality or a true conversation without assuming you're right? Oof, get over yourself.
Did you just become famous? Right now? Did you just become famous?
I'm not offended by the message. I was just purely taken aback because I had no idea that this whole time you were not thinking that Kanye West is anti-Semitic, or you were which is anti-Semitic, or you were agreeing with his statements in being anti-Semitic. I so thought that that is so not where I thought this was, and I'm sorry, is being against anti-Semitism not relatable to you? I'm so sorry. If at any point I made it seem before I got quote unquote famous, I was cool with anti-Semitism, that's on me.
When did you get famous? When you were 16?
If that's the word we're using, sure.
I'm just saying, when you had
I was a public figure when I started my Instagram account.
Yes.
So people who, when they got on Instagram and they followed me, it was not for my personal, it was for everybody. I've been here since the beginning.
So where have they been the last 15, 14 years?
It's a good question. And I don't want to diminish how intense anti-Semitism is, but of all of the things that I talk about on my platform, this is the least fucking controversial. This is the least one that I get the amount of pushback on. Just fact of the matter. There is a lot of very casual anti-Semitism, a lot of things around that. But when you're faced with glaringly obvious and blatant anti-Semitism, my audience and nobody there is being
right,
all lives matter. They're not, there's no slipping through the cracks there. And so I'm just of all the things that what? It was just blowing my mind. And I'm you have to be so angry at me for something else. Maybe you're upset I've never responded to any of your other DMs. This is the one that I responded to. Maybe you're misreading my, I thought I was misinterpreting your message. Or I thought I was misinterpreting your message and going, I don't think that's what you mean. And then the whole thing here, I'm I did not know we were hostile and we were arguing about anti-Semitism. Like, I fully had, if that was the case, I would have come at you a lot fucking harder. Because I was coming at you like a friend.
Yeah.
Isn't that so? I was just like, whoa, what?
Fuck off.
So weird.
It's just funny to me how every few months you just have these people coming out the woodworks, and it's like, how long have you been here?
The thing I'm specifically confused about, like, this one is like, and I think it has to be that I have. Well, no, I guess I responded to a message of theirs in 2020. But they've like
what did they say in 2020?
I know. Well, they've been like responding to my since 2017. I think it was they responded something about like my skin, and they were like, take vitamin A daily, and I said, I do. It's just a hormonal imbalance.
I thought it was gonna be something.
Well, no, and because that's like I usually will like, especially if it's like a message like their initial one where I'm like, I don't know what this means here, and like I'm very, if someone is being like super fucking hateful and like anti-Semitic and just like a bigot, racist or whatever, like so fucking like horrific, then I have the same feeling of like, why do you even follow me?
Mm-hmm.
And I will like scroll up and see, and a lot of the times like they don't, and like this is just like, you found me here, and like I'm not gonna waste my breath like satisfying a troll by responding to this. But if it's like you've been around before, or I'm trying to get some clarity, or it feels like you're misinformed, like I will 100% respond and we can have a conversation like about this. But I vet to before to be like, is this person who said, does this align with their other shit? Or are they just trying to like bait to get a response?
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't find any of that. Like they responded to like my story from 2021 about Matt James is saying, I was so excited for The Bachelor, but he's so Jesus-y and he's a Republican. And they said, oh my God, right?
Wow.
And like, they're just, you know what I mean? Like,
Jesus is Jewish, so.
I don't know anything about Jesus, but I do know that anytime I've heard someone who's like Christian talk to someone who's Jewish, they go, Jesus was a Jew. And it's always like, yeah, right? Yeah. It's in
but
the
I'm
first
saying,
and the second.
If she was mad because he was too Jesus-y. That was the
my
first
knowledge
hint.
of religion is not,
The
it's
first
not in
hint.
depth enough.
Because it could have gone one of two ways.
I just think it's so odd. Like the whole thing was so weird. And then like, I'm complaining about my first world problems. Like, what's my first world problem here? Me talking about anti-Semitism?
Yeah, that's
like,
not.
People will, some people like will be like, oh my God. And I said this before, I think on the last episode, of being like, oh my God, like she complains too much. And I'm like, okay, sure, I verbal process and I talk about things that I'm going through, but I always try and be like, here are the actionable steps that I'm taking, or I'm like sourcing advice from people, and like I'll share what I have. Like, I don't go online and just like trauma dump. I'm sure I fucking did that when I was a teenager.
But
like,
you're also a vlogger. Like that's part of it.
Even of it, it's like I don't film a video and then I'm like, well, there's nothing to do. Like, well, blah, blah. Like, you know, I'm like, oh, I'm going to talk about long COVID update. And like, I went to pomologist. Here's what I heard here. And like, these are my next plans. And this is what's been going on. And like, this is what I think. Like, that's also like how my brain works in general. Like I need those things. My thing, I have a very hard time with that. My therapist said, which is like, well, feelings are meant to be felt. And I was like, what? Like, just because like you talk through like making it logical. We're like, well, I feel like this and this, this and this. And like, well, I know that I'm feeling this way. Like you have to feel it. You can't just like think about it and know that that's how you feel. Like recognizing your emotions is not feeling your emotions. Mm-hmm. So I know that that's like literally a therapy issue for me. So like, I'm not getting on the internet and just being like sitting in my feelings. Like I'm working on trying to do that, but like not on the internet. But then when some people are like, oh, you just complain too much. I'm like, do you mean about like school shootings and like, and like gun control and like abortion access and racism? Like, is that what you mean by complaining about first world problems? Or you can call, like, for sure, did I complain when I was moving? Yeah. Oh yeah, it was hell. Privileged, very, very privileged that we got to buy a house and do all of that. And we had so much help with movers and just lots of people who were helping us. And, you know, it's a privilege that not everybody has. And, you know, I acknowledge that. And I still complained. It was still fucking hell. But also find me somebody who enjoys moving.
But it's still a problem. It's your problem. Like,
but also like, I understand, like when you're complaining about something that like, if you're like, oh God, fuck, I don't want to move. And it's like, yeah, moving sucks. Do you want people to be like, No.
I enjoy moving.
Because I'm like, you don't. Like, why, if you don't enjoy something, that I should have to enjoy it?
Mhm.
Like, there are certain things that, like, going to the DMV, regardless of, like, how privileged you are, regardless of, like, how much access you have. I mean, maybe you can be very rich. You don't have to go to the DMV.
You might be one of those people that pays for that pass to go through.
Do you have that?
Mm-mm.
At some point you might.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, that kind of stuff. I'm like, there are certain things, like a root canal. Like, no matter what, like, the compiled list of, like, struggles and obstacles you've faced in that day or that week or that month, the pot might be a lot smaller. So it might be a lot, and it will be a lot harder for someone who, like, does not have the emotional or financial bandwidth to deal with it on top of the already, like, shitty or uncomfortable process. But the process is always going to be shitty and uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
Anyways, just thought that was wild. Absolutely wild. So, fuck anti-Semitism. And apparently that girl, who apparently is anti-Semitic.
Yep.
So sorry, everyone, that I did not catch that earlier. I guess my spidey senses were tingling because I did ask her to clarify what she meant at the beginning.
Yeah.
Maybe my brain was like, I'm doing her a solid. And, like, my big brain was like, red flag.
What's your little brain?
Oh. What's my little brain?
I'm asking.
Oh. Did I say my brain and then my big brain?
Mm-hmm.
My little brain's the one I operate with 95%
Because
of
usually
the time.
when people with penises say that, they're talking about their penis. So you're talking about your clit?
I wanted to almost show you something that I was thinking of.
I don't want to see your clit, Megan.
No, it's something that I think I was gonna get you for Christmas.
Well, don't
Do you want to see it?
me.
No. Okay. Some people like to know beforehand.
I like the gifts that you get me. You see, I got the plate up there. You probably can't see.
I don't know.
But it's always there.
They come to me in the same way that we get those, like, weird shivers. Like, it'll just, like, suddenly, like, I've had an idea for something I want to get you forever. But, like, I don't want you to have it if I don't have a matching one.
Okay.
And they're so fucking expensive and, like,
then
so
why don't
impractical.
we get, if it's a good thing, then what
It's not that good. Like, we need to go on tour. So, like, should I
Okay.
just tell you what it is?
Yeah.
I really wanted to get, like, do, like, those custom, like, denim jackets that have, like, the cool patches with our names on it. And then, like, potentially even, like, the rhinestone side ones. Just, like, really cute and fun like that. And, like, coordinating colors.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, that's, like,
pink.
when the fuck are we going to wear that unless we go to a rodeo or we're on tour?
And I'll do both.
Me too. But I did think, like, it would be a little weird if I got you this, like, totally decked out.
Yeah.
Like, way too expensive.
When we start making money from the podcast,
Oh
hopefully,
my God.
fingers crossed.
We will
And then we
do
will,
it.
and we could go on tour at some point.
Yeah. We do a tour in Vegas. Welcome to the club. The club.
The club.
I need to watch that show. I've seen so many clips. I feel like I've watched the whole show, but I know I haven't.
I don't know what it's a quote from.
Broad City.
Oh. I love it.
I've watched that, like,
I've watched
clip of that.
Broad City
scene.
3 times. Please watch it.
I feel like I've honestly seen it because I've seen
Yeah, but
but I want to watch the whole thing in sequence and, you know, all of that.
Yeah.
I wonder if, like, Lena Dunham looks at Broad City and goes, that's what I should have made.
No, I think she looks down on it.
I actually think that too.
I think that she doesn't think it's
She, like,
high
looks
art.
and she goes, they tried to be me, but they could never. And they're like,
They were like,
"Oh."
we had our, because it was a digital thing first.
Yeah. And they're
And
so
then
fucking
Amy
funny.
Poehler saw it. But that's it.
That's it. Check back next Fisting Friday.
Mm-hmm. All right. See us on Monday, too.
Woohoo! Go leave us reviews in the podcast app.
Please.
And check out our new artwork, which I've definitely already said in, like, an earlier episode. But this is, like, your button on the end of the week. And just like every good script, you throw a little button on there to let you know that we have new artwork. And it's really cute. Goodbye.
What if I was like, it was so ugly?
I would know you're lying.
I just put it up there to embarrass you.
We would never do it to me.
I would never.
No, I know. That's I would.
So mean.
We would both never do that to each other.
No, that's so mean. Because it would be an embarrassment for me, too.
Yeah, you're like, my name is on this shit. I can't have you looking ugly and goofy.
What's up, everyone? It's Noah Daniels.
Hey, y'all, I'm JJ.
Hey, guys, it's Kat.
And we're your hosts of the Real Hauntings podcast, where we bring on guests who share their first-hand encounter ghost stories and supernatural experiences. Now on to the trailer.
I've been warned to not tell this story, but I think because of the way it ends, it's okay to tell this story, because some people say that with certain entities, to like speak of them or talk about them or in any way like portray them as powerful will attract them to other people. The creepiest thing about it to me is a lot of times it would wait for me to notice it. Like, it would just lay its arm out like this, and then I'd be like, where is it? Where is it? And then I'd see it, and then it would just slither back.
For more information on the Real Hauntings, Real Ghost Stories podcast, make sure you check out real.fm to learn more about our podcast and many other amazing podcasts.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, a founder of the Go Kid Go network. At Go Kid Go, putting kids first is at the heart of every show that we produce. That's why we're so excited to introduce a brand new show to our network called The Search for the Silver Lining, a fantasy adventure series about a spirited young girl named Isla who time travels to the mythical land of Camelot. Look for The Search for the Silver Lining on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Do you love Disney? Do you love top 10 lists? Then you are going to love our hit podcast, Disney Countdown. I'm Megan, the Magical Millennial.
And I'm the Dapper Danielle.
On every episode of our fun and family-friendly show, we count down our top 10 lists of all things Disney. The parks, the movies, the music, the food, the lore. There is nothing we don't cover on our show.
We are famous for rabbit holes, Disney-themed games, and fun facts you didn't know you needed.
I had Danielle and Megan record some answers to seemingly meaningless questions. I asked Danielle what insect song is typically higher pitched in hotter temperatures and lower pitched in cooler temperatures.
You got this.
No, I didn't.
Don't believe that. About a wish coming true? Well, I didn't either. Of course, I'm just a
cicada. I'm crying. I'm so sorry, Jiminy.
You win that one.
So if you're looking for a healthy dose of Disney magic, check out Disney Countdown wherever you get your podcasts.